We're not at war with the public, but we do need to protect ourselves so that we can provide the protection to the public that we are sworn to do.
Since the 1990s, local law enforcement units in the U.S. have received billions of dollars worth of military-grade equipment from the federal government. This has led to heavy artillery and armored vehicles rolling down U.S. streets, leaving some Americans feeling unsettled. Now President Joe Biden reportedly wants to put restrictions on how police forces are equipped. So when did U.S. police start receiving military equipment? Under the 1033 program, surplus items like weapons and vehicles are transferred from the Department of Defense to local law agencies, both large and small. These deals stem from George H.W. Bush's presidency, equipping officers to fight the war on drugs. The program was later expanded during the Clinton administration to include counterterrorism efforts.
The legislation protects not only our national security, but also our security at home.
Over time, local police forces have stocked up on everything, from armored vehicles to grenade launchers. Americans saw some of the same equipment used by U.S. soldiers during the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and they would soon see it on the streets of their own cities.
What's going on over here? Here we go.
When protests broke out in Ferguson, Missouri in 2014, the country and the rest of the world watched as the local police department took to the streets with military vehicles. This led to President Obama imposing restrictions on the program.
We've seen how militarized gear can sometimes give people a feeling like there's an occupying force as opposed to a force that's part of the community that's protecting them and serving them.
But those restrictions were eventually loosened by the Trump administration.
We will do our best to get you what you need. We have your back. We black the blue.
But does military equipment have any effect on policing? Some studies have suggested that the 1033 program might not be reducing crime at all, and that this militarization is harming the public's perception of policing.
This program is incredibly problematic. What we've seen in response is, the militarization of our communities in response to First Amendment protected activities of residents, and particularly in communities of color. Law enforcement agencies that have acquired this equipment and weapons of war have been using it against their own citizens.
But law enforcement officials have maintained the equipment is vital in dealing with the increased threats officers have been facing in U.S. streets.
And typically that's what happens when we show up with this vehicle. It's overwhelming force, and we have the element of surprise, and typically nothing happens. They surrender and we take them to jail. When something happens, we're responding, but the fact of the matter is we're responding and it's happening, so you've got to be able to protect yourself.